Friends, Xiaomi's first SUV is expected. Thank you for waiting. They took a detach. Baby bet I come. Couple Grammys on him, couple plex eye. That's a fat eye throwing back eye. The color next to it is called titanium. Yes, one of consumer electronics' favorite colors. And this car paint actually takes in natural light. When the sun shines, it can reveal some warm colors. It's a very, very beautiful metallic color. It's also my personal favorite paint color. The shed next to it is the color of sapphire green car paint. Looks more performance, more exploding. And the official also revealed the blue picture before. So far, from my understanding of Xiaomi's pricing strategy, these colors are most likely free to choose. Let's look at the positioning again. It is a very standard mid to large SUV. The length of the car is 4 meters 99. Car width 11 meters 99. The height of the car is 1.60 meters. And the wheelbase is the same as the YU7. However, let's look at it from a side perspective. You will find a very obvious state of the long front of the car. So it's a nice head pen. Can be presented. It's a nice body stance. Then connected the trend on the hood. Look at the front of the face again. In fact, it is the same as millet plain paint. It keeps this rice shape. This logo of the headlights. But what's different is that you look at the top half of it. Hollowed out. You can reach in through here. He becomes an escape portal. Then connected the trend on the hood. So the jet stream comes in this way. Get out from here. So is the whole form quite handsome? Hey, it's more handsome here. He uses an aluminum pump cap in front of him. He can reduce it to a great extent. The length of this patchwork on the windward side. The crux of the matter is that he has an electrically turned headstock. Opening method. Except this button is turned on. You can also call outside the car. I will help you open it. Just feel the big mouth when it opens. Is it very handsome and beautiful? I think this stayed after he turned it on. It's very much like a slipback car. Have that big hatchback tailgate. Posture is very different. And it has direct benefits. It's just that it has a very, very large front compartment. The official said that a 24-inch tray can be put in. Shipping the box, so under normal circumstances, you probably don't need the trunk very much. Then in this position on the side. In fact, it was on the official picture with us before. What you see will be a little different. It's the eyebrow part. There will be some raised spines on the official picture. Do you remember that? But today we see this expectation. It becomes a smoother surface. This eyebrow. I thought about the previous state at the time. There will be a more fighting posture. But now it's a much smoother surface. It will be more simple. So to different states. Which would you prefer? And then I'm going to go down and look at the hub here. It is different from the previous SU paint. It's SU paint. It's that plum blossom shaped hub. It's now expected to be much simpler. 5-wheel hub. The size is 24,545,221. And the different details are: its rear tire will be a little wider than the front tire. This is also the whole control process. Some small details to improve handling. Before it works. Then continue to weld back. In fact, this door handle. This position is expected by the entire Xiaomi. Probably the most controversial part. Because before Xiaomi Suking, that semi-hidden door handle is a big hit. And what about this doorknob? People will be worried that the girl will get stuck in the bracket. Let's test it today. I also have long nails. In fact, look, I gave this door opening action. It doesn't take a lot of force. He had already realized that I was opening the door. So he will have a process of electric Ferris. Then I pinched the door again and it opened. This is the same as the Ferrari Pro we saw before. The way to open the door in 3 months is still different. Because the way Ferrari opens doors, you absolutely have to do it yourself. Then come back. Maybe worried that it will be a little pinched. If the bracket is long, it may be stuck in this position. Therefore, his organization is. Some optimizations and adjustments have been made. The other thing is to answer everyone. Why didn't Xiaomi expect to use it before? The semi-hidden door handle of the YU7. In fact, you found the back door. The doorknob is on this curved surface of the vehicle. If you use the semi-hidden formula before, door handle, the whole light and shadow effect he presents, it's not going to look so good visually. So he made this electric inversion hide. Door handle. The overall wind resistance will also be better. And say, His profile is also unlikely to be affected. Then we can look at the rear part of the car again. In fact, the expected taillights. It will be based on this, the SUV's shape and proportions, to adjust the proportion of this taillight. So I think after widening and lifting, after this taillight becomes more three-dimensional, it will look better. So I think the tail. And that's what really struck me about the anticipation. And then we're going to look at the trunk. But to say a small slot, I think the open button of the secondary trunk is here, next to the back camera. So every time you open the trunk, you need to bend over a little bit. It's a little bit less elegant. Then open this trunk. You will find, in fact, the expected dissolution of the agent trunk is not very eye-catching. It's relatively unremarkable, the volume of the trunk. But Xiaomi is smart because it is smart. People have a very huge senior who wants to. So in this case, you can make up for this in space. Highlights. What else? After you open the cover of this trunk, there is also a part of the extension space below. You can put some small odds and ends. This is probably the space in the trunk. For example, if you turn on the left and right turn will appear on the front screen. Okay, you get into the car, and you might say, hey, the expected feeling inside the car. It seems to be not much different from the speed period. It doesn't seem to have changed much. But in fact, you will find, every detail is different. The first thing that's very different is expectations. He has a 1.1 meter long one in front of him. Panoramic curved projection. At this point you might say, oops, isn't this HUD? It's really different if it's elongated and widened. Because of the normal HUD location, it's going to be a little bit further ahead than this, and the whole advantage of it is that when you drive, you don't have to go back and forth to switch your vision. Focus, but what? The entire definition of this screen will be better than the HUD, come much, much higher. In addition, he will also change the position of the screen. Move forward as much as you can. In that case, don't go when you're driving. Tenori, line of sight. So what we can see now is, in front of the main driver, it is the display information of a meter. Just normal your speed, battery life, all these driving patterns, all these. And then in the middle is the navigation interface. Then there is a piece in front of the co-pilot next to you. Display of entertainment screen. For example, when the co-pilot sings, you can go according to the transformation of the previous lyric. Just sing. Offer a little emotional value. Of course, what about the display of the previous 3 screens? It can also be based on your own needs. Change it yourself. Of course, where I think it has the real advantage is just when you need some visual blinding. For example, if you turn on the left and right, the following image will appear, now on the front screen. So for the rendering of this screen, the requirements are still quite high. Of course, in addition to these very practical functions, I just heard from their staff. This time Xiaomi is expected to be in ejection mode. It also does some integration with the previous 3 screens. For example, when ejection mode is turned on, will he give some pictures of the 3 screens in front? The rendering above the sound effect. It will give you a very immersive, feeling very surrounded. The emotional value is well handled. So here's the advice I can give you. That is, we try to be in the car as much as possible. Then let's continue to look down. You will find that in the central control position, like what we saw before, YU7 is completely different. YU7 is in the row on the left. You will have 4 of these physical buttons. Adjust the driving mode, air conditioning, These were all cancelled as expected. I don't know if it's because, after fast delivery in large quantities, everyone will find that the feedback from the whole Xiaomi classmate is still very good. You feel it. So he cancelled the physics. Case leaked. More of this storage space. So I think so. In fact, it is quite as expected, this positioning of the SUV. Everyone wants this storage. Ask for more. Then on a comfort of the entire front row. Another very big change is that Millet bath area. He supports the main and co-pilot's Schwingling gravity. This configuration is actually not very common. We've seen it on a Vita models before. Then this Schwingling gravity, after the whole pose is opened, you then cooperate with the seat massage, so his comfort level will come this time, a little bit more intensely. Okay, now, the 0 for the main and co-pilot. The gravity seat mode is turned on, is a state of full pose, massage and match on seat. I also asked their staff, said that this time Xiaomi expects to use the entire seat material. This foam fabric has been optimized a lot. So I think it can also be found in SUVs. This large space to play to his advantage. This dual gravity seat should attract a lot of users. At least I think. Female users are very attracted. So now is what we expect throughout Xiaomi. Inside the car, some points that can be seen in this part of the front row. But I have to say one thing. Some of the little slots I've found so far, it's in the car we're in now. It's a little warmer. The material inside the yellow car, so large areas of this warm yellow. It looks kind of cozy. But I think there's a problem. For example, when the sun is stronger, there will be some reflections on the front of it. There will be some that affect your vision. So here's the advice I can give you. That is, we try not to choose this shallow in the car. The color interior should still be darker. We'll be safe for our driving. It will come better. Certainly, I understand that for the majority of consumers, the most concerned this time, it must be the seat space of the second row expected by Xiaomi. So we must go to the end this time. The front row is a bit more comfortable. A driving posture. I can also put this backrest a little further back. Let's feel my current driving and sitting position first. Let's go to the second row to take a look. In fact, I was just talking to you all. I have sat in the car before to feel it. Indeed, he will come to sit a little higher. In addition, that's what I think you can see. The head space is very spacious. This also surprised me. Because this time Xiaomi expects do more on the surface of the appearance. Flatten and slip some back. So I didn't think of him. The car will give a more exaggerated one. The space of this head. It may be because of this position below the Qianmu. What he made is relatively thin. So it hollowed out some room that extended upward. The other thing is legroom now. You can make a simple reference. About 2 more laps. But what about Xiaomi? Smart is smart in his too. Angle of the backrest. It is stepless and can reach a maximum of 135 degrees. Let's feel it. This is what I can pick now, okay? Maximum angle of 135 degrees. Feel it. I'm friends who can lie in the second row now. Isn't that crazy? What's next? Let's take a look. The entire second row can be dug. Some dug up. Enhance those little details in comfort. For example, in this part of the elbow joint, he made a soft bump. So in this case, you wouldn't say you have nowhere to put your hands. You put this. After the handrail next to it is put down, you can fit it very comfortably here. In addition, is it what you received? Refrigerator color TV large sofa. You put it on a model of this level. You have to have it. Where is the color TV? You can sit in the back of the seat, just like YU7. To expand the screen of the 2 pies. In the middle, he also has a central control small screen. You can adjust his. Where's the seat? The brightness of the screen and this celestial eye. What about Qianmu? There is no sunshade that everyone wants to talk about before. What about Xiaomi this time? He said very wisely. This change in transmittance is expected. It's whatever you want. It's whatever you want. You can also go according to this. The adjustment on the screen will change. That's a smart way to do it. In addition, he also has a refrigerator. A small refrigerator in this location. So I have everything I need. So what about other than that? I also found, under this second row of seats, also gave to small drawers. You can put some private money in it. But don't expect to put private money. Because after watching this video, the whole country knows he has to small drawers. And then finally, the whole power motor part. At present, the official has not given us a very clear, the exact number. But what can be shared with you is, this time, Xiaomi expects. It is expected that it will be different from the YU7. It comes standard with LiDAR and 4D. Millimeter wave radar. That is to say, the kind of YU7 just before. The entry-level model. This time it no longer exists on Jade. So according to this strategy, I estimate, this Xiaomi is more expensive than Suzi's version. About 30,000 yuan. If it is based on this price, then Xiaomi is overdue and Tesla cat. What will you choose?